Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is elderly people and self-defense firearms. And it's kind of a two-part question. Do you think it's safe to give people that are infirm firearms? Like if your grandma is so infirm that you have to try to find something special for her that she can use, is that safe? Do you support it? And if you do, what would you suggest she should have? So it's kind of a two-part question. Now, I myself think that most people can handle some firearm or another, even if they're physically infirm. Infirm physically doesn't mean you've lost your marbles. Now, if you've lost your marbles, that's a different thing. If your grandpa is trying to kill the mailman because his dog told him he's the Antichrist, well, then you probably have to step in there and prevent them from having firearms. But if they are able-bodied, and they want to defend themselves, as every person has a right to do, of course they should be armed. And if they have special physical limitations, you have to take those into account. Now, I can't speak to every physical limitation anyone would have, but if they have trouble racking a slide, we'll get them something like the Berettas where you don't have to rack a slide. You just have to stick a bullet in the barrel, close it down. Or even better, get them a revolver. Revolvers don't require any really hard work to shoot them. I mean, anybody can thumb back the hammer, even if you're really infirm. If you can still move around, if you can still work your TV remote, you can cock a hammer on a revolver. We all remember the story recently where a bad guy with a 9mm lost a fight to an old woman with a 357. So I'm a firm believer of guns, revolvers, I should say, for elderly people. It doesn't have to be a little tiny one. You think, oh, I got to get my grandmother a little tiny one. No, if you want her to have easy control of it, get her something that's bigger. She can get a good grip on, but not too big for her hands, like a 686, and load it with 38 specials. You know, give her the best chance she's got to be able to control her gun, use her gun. And here's another thing. If you got some older, infirm people in your family, if they're not housebound, make sure you take them out every now and then, even if it's just into the backyard to shoot, if you're able to do that where you're at. Make them know that, hey, I support your right to defend yourself, and I hope you're able to if you ever need to. So I support infirm people physically having firearms. They need to be able to defend themselves and family. And as far as what you should give them, well, find out what's best for them, whatever they have to overcome, whatever challenge they have to overcome, find the gun that does that best. And that's the answer. Now let's go over and see what anybody else had to say over here. Ghost Shadow says, I'm elderly and can still manage 460 Smith & Wesson. Well, I can once or twice. Not a bunch. I can't go out like I used to and shoot, 100 rounds of 44 Magnum and be enjoying it. 7 or 8 shots in, I'm going to be like, I need to go lay down for a little bit. But I can handle anything once that I used to be able to shoot. I can still shoot 500, 460, etc. And 460 is worse than 500, by the way. Once or twice, but maybe 5 times, but they ain't gonna be doing no 100 rounds of anything. Johnny Mandrick says, I feel called out by this title. Well, that's because you're old as fuck. You and Dale Rickety and Edgar Cortez. But I support your right to still have a gun, even though you are past the age of being useful to society. So I think I should get credit for that. I definitely do. Motor Acer Chris said, why are we protecting ourselves from the elderly? Why wouldn't you? You don't think elderly people can't be jerks? Of course they can. They get mean, some of them, when they get old. They get really mean. You don't want some old granny coming up and shivving you in the ribs with knit needles or something because you don't like your haircut. Possibility. You got to be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. That's our slogan. Be prepared for old ladies. Mean old ladies. Edgar Cortez said, I'm 78, and for home defense, my 40 cal GL23, that's Glock 23, for EDC 9mm or 380. Well, I think the 40 is better. He carries that 23 at his age. He should be able to handle it. I mean, he's probably got strong hands. He's a physician. Physicians usually have strong hands. I don't know, unless he's like a plastic surgeon or something. He never has told me like what kind of. Well, I know he worked in emergency rooms and stuff. And doctors like to work out a lot. I don't know what it is, but they love it, especially if they're surgeons. Surgeons love to work out. And I've never understood that because I'm like, aren't you damaging your hands lifting? I remember we took a surgeon friend of ours skating one time to Oaks Park, and 5 minutes after we're there, one of the little hot shot skaters skates in front of him, kicks us and knocks him down. He falls hands first onto the ground, and we're like, oh my God, he's a fucking surgeon, and he's just going to break both his wrists. But luckily he was okay. Juan was his name. They're back in town. They moved back. They moved away for a while. They had the cutest little kids. Oh my God, they have such cute kids. Practical Bacon says elderly obviously need a 45 ACP. Well, that it is the round for people whose balls touch the toilet water or other parts of their body touch the toilet water, which I won't get into explicitly because it's gross. But yes, that is the elderly cartridge. I agree. And here's the thing, a big, heavy 1911 and 45 ACP doesn't recoil all that bad. I think they could probably handle it. Danny Pennant says SIG P365 is a great option for geriatric carry. Really? I think that's a little tiny gun. I think that hurt their hands. Do you know some grannies that love that gun or something? It's small. They can get their hands on it. But, I mean, I guess it's just 9mm, though, so it's not like it recoils a lot. I mean, it's like a pop gun. It's, you know, I guess it could be good. Johnny Mandrick says, I weighed in too, yo cute. I saw you weighed in, you old bitch. Or can we say bitch on here? Or do we have to say biatch? I know so sometimes when I say bitch I have to say biatch on the comments. Mainly because people know you're being jokey when you say biatch, but if you say bitch, they might just take it as he called me a bitch. So I say the biatch. BEOTCH. Gummy Wuzzle weighed in. Haven't seen him in a while. Where he's been hiding. I always assume he's up to no good. 38 special revolver, no jams for the arthritic. Yeah, no jams. And, you know, if it doesn't go off on a round, you just pull the trigger again and go to the next one. You don't have to clear anything or anything like that unless you have a squib load. So that's bad, but that's not likely to happen if you're using decent ammo. So, yeah, I'm a firm believer of revolvers. I say get them a 357 and put 38 in it, because that way you got more weight and strength and everything else absorbing the recoil. But like a SP-101, if you wanted to give them a small revolver, SP-101 is good for that. It's got more mass and absorbs the recoil better, and put a 38 in it, and not bad at all. You'll do pretty well. Danny Pennant says, something easy to operate, GTFO gun or OC spray. Now, other people underestimate OC spray. I will say that, like bear spray and stuff. Of course, I wouldn't want to spray it in the house, but I've been thinking more and more about maybe keeping it around. We'll see. But yeah, simple, easy to use, something that, you know, not like a little slide they got to pull or anything to cock around, because they might even be able to get it loaded. I've seen people who load the gun for their grandmother and like she can't load it herself. I'd load to her. Well, what if there's a jam or, you know, then she needs a different gun. Sean Bain said, sweet Yank, feel asleep. I just woke up from a nap. I carry either a 22 long rifle tip or a 22 mag revolver. See, he's old and he carries 22 mag and a 22 tip in. I just gave away a 22 tip in. To who won that? Who won the Devil Super Series? Oh, it's Colin Hepburn just won a 22 tip in barrel gun. I don't think Colin Hepburn's old though. He's not real old. I might be wrong. He might be old as fuck. I don't know. Yes, arm the elderly. I like the Smith & Wesson EZ. Now, wasn't that gun kind of designed for elderly people, like easier to rack and everything else? So that probably would be an obvious choice. I think that was kind of the point of it, wasn't it? Go Shadow, he's our last person weighing in here, and he said, my mom at 80 shot 1911 and Taurus PT92. They can do it. My mom can still shoot a regular gun. And she's old fuck too. She's 15 years older than I am. So if she can still do it, I think most women. Now, there are some people that have issues, though. My mom's always been strong. Some people have always been infirm. They've never been strong. They have issues with their wrists, their fingers, their everything, shoulders, the elbows. And that you have to take consideration when you take that into consideration when you choose a gun, because some guns might just not be appropriate for them. Like you might have to go to your grandmother who always shot a Coonan 357 Magnum. And you might have to say, you can't even load it anymore. You can't rack the slide anymore. You can't grip it strong enough to rack the slide. You can't grip it enough to overcome the recoil. So this gun's not appropriate for you anymore. And then get them into something else. Unless, of course, they just refuse, and then you just let them have what they want. They're old. But that's it for us today. I want to thank everybody for coming. I appreciate it. I will see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe till I see you again.